so easy for, and I know this knife cuts both ways, you've got to be careful.
I'll give you an example. Why is this verse not dealing with the Jews? Although it says people of the book.
It started already. You might as well get that out, umbrella out.
Yeah, but it's going to come through in a minute. I don't know what they're called then.
To 929, fight against such those who receive the scripture, as believe not in Allah nor the last day, forbid not that which Allah has forbidden by his messenger, follow not the religion of truth, until they pay the tribute readily being born known. And the Jews say, Ezra is the son of Allah. And then 31, they have taken as lords beside Allah, their rabbis. So this verse is talking about Jews as well as
and Christians, yes. But amazingly,
which actually makes me wonder if it's not the Roman Empire. If the Roman Empire,
it is the Roman Empire. How do we know this? Because you know Jews were had a treaty with Muslims.
which
at this time. At this time, there were Jewish tribes who were in peace with Muslims. They had a treaty with Muslims around Medina. You know about this, right?
I know them different Jewish tribes.
Okay. Now, they were not attacked. Okay. So what is the verse talking about? If the Jews are not the point, if they're not the reference of this verse, so who's being attacked? Okay. So we know from the prophetic tradition. First of all, when was this verse revealed? It was revealed in the final year of the Prophet's life, in the year 9. Okay. Sorry, no, not year 9. Year 9 or 10. Few months before he passed away. Okay. And the imminent threat at that time was the Roman threat. And it has been clarified in the prophetic tradition as well.
So we talked about this earlier. Let's say I accept all of the stuff about the background, history, the context, fine, accept all of that for the point of this discussion. I'm still not clear why Allah didn't just say in Surah 9, fight those who are a threat to you, fight the treaty breakers, etc., as it does earlier on in Surah 9.
Yeah.
Why does it have to say fight those who do not believe, those who takes their rabbis and monks as lords? Why does it have to use such religious language?
Because Romans were fighting them for their religion. That's why. Because the Romans, you see, the Romans were coming with that attitude. They were fighting Muslims because they were Muslims.
So it's a rhetorical thing. It's saying you Romans are attacking us
for religion.
For religion. Let's turn it back on its head.
Yes, you can say that. You can say that because the Romans had made it very clear. They had made it very clear that it is about religion. How do we know that? Because the messenger of the Prophet was killed by one of the allies. Okay, and when the Muslims went to avenge his murder. And it was illegal to kill messengers even at that time. Okay, how do we know this? 2 Persian messengers came to the Prophet, and their beards were shaved, and their moustache, the moustaches were big, long. And the Prophet said, if it was allowed to kill messengers, I would have killed you too, because he hated the face. They looked very ugly to him. So because it's not allowed to kill messengers, I wouldn't do that. Okay. So even at that time, these rules were there. So they killed one of the messengers of the Prophet because he was a Muslim. Okay. He was taking a message of Islam to the king of the Romans.
That's fine. So let's say I accept all of this cultural background. Now I do think the context, let's say, is that the Romans are attacking them for their religion. Even so, non-Muslims can very easily say that religious persecution prompted the Muslims to start their own religion,
right in front of my
to fight them back for their religion. I know that you're not saying that, and you can just say it's just rhetorical, it's taking those themes and turning.
I'm not saying it's rhetorical, I'm saying it's actual. The Romans were attacking Muslims for their religion. The Quran says just like that they're attacking you for their religion. You can attack them because they're not of your religion. Simple as that. They're attacking you because you have Islam.
So you do fight them for their religion, but only when they fight you first.
Yes. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is Muslims cannot start the hostilities. They cannot start the hostilities. They have to live in peace. They have to promote peace. Okay. Quran is full of verses like that. Okay. So you have to read the Quran as a uniform text. Once you do that, you come to realize that Islam in no way, under no circumstances, promote indiscriminate violence or unprovoked violence. It doesn't promote that. In fact, those who did that...
Some brother said hello to you. Some brother said hello.
Prophet, he rebuked them.
On my life. Here.
He rebuked them. One of his companions,
tell him to send an umbrella.
One of his companions who had killed some of the people, the Prophet refused to give him refuge. He refused to give him refuge. He said, you're not my problem. Go away.
So I think we've got to a position where
Another example, sorry. When
Marshall
the
Mathers.
Muslims are going to conquer Mecca, one of his companions, he ran towards Mecca with the flag. He said, today is the day of slaughter. We will slaughter these Meccans. Who are the Meccans? Same people who have been killing the Prophet,
Ayub, okay.
Prophet's companions, his uncles, his relatives, everyone. And the Prophet said to his companions, hold him, bring him back.
I'll tell him in a minute, brother.
They captured him, they brought him back, and the Prophet took the flag.
I'm trying to
Today is the day of
not get wet.
So that's the example we learned from the Prophet. Okay. He was a practical man, following the teachings of Islam practically. Someone's trying to... Who is this? Who is this? Report to the policeman. Who is this? Who was
The guy with the big beard.
Hold this.
Be careful, you
Tell him to go somewhere else.
got a mic on.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, under no circumstances, we can interpret the verse to somehow substantiate indiscriminate violence against non-Muslims. Okay, so it cannot be interpreted in that way for a number of reasons. Number one, our theology is against
Yeah. Can
Our
you just move it that way? Then I can.
sources, our literature is full of ideas that go directly against
That's okay.
such notions. Number one. Number two, our history testifies to the fact that the Muslims, when it came to Jews and Christians, they treated them with utmost mercy, justice, and compassion.
let's say accepted that. I think we've got to a point like tonight where we're saying
When you go home, you can watch it on YouTube. You can understand it better than listening here.
Because they fought you for your religion.
right, because they want to represent
Verse 68
Yeah, it's already
says,
I'll show you.
very easily in the state fight them for their
You're not on it.
religion.
No, it's facing that way. Okay. If you're on my one, I'll do it. Take a picture of that. You can.
Would it not have been a lot clearer for Allah to skip that second stage of fighting for their religion and just the primary reason, which is fight them because they fought you for Muslim? Wouldn't that have avoided a whole amount of that?
I can say the same thing about the Bible. You're a Christian, yeah, and I can ask the same question. Why didn't God put down clearly, or Jesus said clearly, I am God? All he had to say was one sentence. He had the time to rebuke the Pharisees and Sadducees and rebuke the tree, all of that, but he couldn't say I am God in one sentence. But I'm not going to say that. I can argue like that, but I'm not going to argue like that. What I'm saying is that interpretation carries no weight Quranically, because chapter 60 verse 8 clarifies that it is because of the religion. It is because of the religion. So it complements the verse 9, Surah 9 verse 29. It complements that. How?
She told me that.
Because even chapter 60 verse 8, what does it state? It states, if they fight you not for your religion.
Tell me this one.
It's exactly the same subject.
What about him?
It's exactly the same subject.
You told him as well.
Assuming the Shafis aren't direct in saying that that's been abrogated. But yes, as you say, it's not the mainstream interpretation. Okay, that's fine. And you make a very good point. If I want to talk about God making it clear, you're right, you've got to apply that to the Bible too. In terms of that argument, why did God make it clearer? There's a limited value.
I think it's clear enough. I think for me, because I know the context, I've read the commentaries, I've seen the prophetic tradition and the behavior of the Prophet himself in the light of these verses. What did the Prophet do? What did his successors do? The people who took the Quran directly from him, how did they actually understand this verse? How did they understand it?
Umbrella.
They understood it exactly the way I understand it.
Like speak about just tripod rain holder. Tripod rain.
I just want to clarify that
umbrella holder.
Canberra as well.
Not rain.
Yeah, got to be consistent. That's very cool. The whole Canberra made against the Bible as well. The point you made, like,
so much stuff.
there,
Let me
I
stick
think
this.
the gospel is clear about Jesus being God as well. So it's not a one-side argument. It's not a way up against many other factors.
No, but it is.
So for me, I've got to weigh up what I think is the ambiguity of 929 in what you're saying, I've got to weigh that up against the other points you make about the other verses in the Quran, about Islamic history. For you, it's very convincing to say that. For you, it's very convincing to say that Islam is very violent. For me, it's less convincing because I'm less convinced about what Islamic history has to say in the matter. I'm less convinced about the matter of abrogation. But I think I need to go to my own work.
No, but what are you less convinced about? What is the conviction?
So, okay, when I had studied it in the past, the position about 9.5, 9.29, abrogating and 68, I had my impression, both from reading it my this
You know, the same as Naveed, one of those mics.
my
It's taken too long. I've ordered it. Yeah, and I received it. It was faulty, so sent it back. Now, still not here. No, they're just exchanging it. They got it. Yeah.
Such as?
Fighting the Jewish tribes, is then a question of why they betrayed and why they not. I've heard it being disputed whether the Romans actually were a military threat to Islam. I'm not claiming the non-Muslims are truly certain.
But which history are
All I know is they contested. So I'm not.
No, who contested these ideas? The Romans were a threat to Muslims.
Apologists, sometimes academic sources.
Such as?
So one source I've read quite influential me is David Cook, Understanding Jihad. He's written about a lot of positions. Understanding Jihad, University of California Press. He seems to think that the Islamic tradition on the whole has been more militaristic.
He's right. He's right about that. And we don't deny that historically. Islamic tradition has been militaristic. Muslim states had been garrison states. They were continuously in a form of conflict with other nations. Not because they were causing conflict, other nations were attacking them.
I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think that David Cook is saying actually
Like
it's more aggressive. It's not just being defensive, it's about attacking people the same.
So in some cases it was preemptive aggression.
Okay, I think
For
he's
example,
saying,
in the case of the Ottomans, sometimes they ran out of the way.
I think his work is going not just about preemptive, it's not about attacking to spread Islam.
Okay.
He could be wrong. I don't know much about this issue.
So then in that case, Richard,
I don't
making
have a strong position, so I certainly yes.
right, but I'm trying to look into his argument and rebut it, present a rebuttal. In that case, having a treaty with non-Muslim nations doesn't make sense, right? If that's the case. If it's all out war, if it's all out militancy, and if it's all out conflict, then there is no point in making treaties with non-Muslims.
So from what I understand,
And which the Muslims did historically, throughout.
so from what I understand from Cook, and I've possibly read one or two other academics on this, I can't remember, it's been months since I read this, is that first of all, Muslims didn't always have the exact same policy. The point is often there wasn't an aggressive interpretation of the Quran, it was spreading violence.
Yes, in the times of war, you're absolutely right. I'm complimenting the point. During the Crusades, that's what happened.
To do with the treaties, what these authors are saying is Islamic legal theory allowed for times of peace, it allowed for treaties, it allowed for times of non-expansion. When the Muslim state needed to consolidate, when it wasn't ready for fighting, as long as it's in the long-term interest of Islam, you can have treaties. Treaties don't disagree with this theory.
Yes.
But I haven't seen
I agree.
the theory either. I'm going to go study it more. Obviously, you take a very good perspective. All I was able to talk about was my interpretation of it.
My view is that Islam throughout its history, Muslim dynasties, Muslim rulers, generally speaking, their behavior towards non-Muslims has been very positive. Generally. There are cases where non-Muslims were mistreated by individual rulers, and even in those cases, Muslims stood up to the Muslim rulers to defend the non-Muslims. So we have many examples. This is why we are proud of our history. It's not because of scientific advancement the Muslims achieved. It's also because of the behavior. You know, the golden age of the Jews in Spain, even in Baghdad, even in Damascus, even in India, you know, you name it. I mean, do you concede to the fact that Muslims, in comparison to other civilizations, were a lot more gentle, a lot more merciful and tolerant towards the other when we look at in comparison to other civilizations?
So I mean, towards the other, that's a broader topic that brings in, you know,
This brother's ahead of you. I said your back is west. He's ahead of you.
I think that is, I don't know, I think that is the mainstream academic understanding.
Yeah.
That the Muslim world treated Jews better.
People moving from this side.
I know there are one or two groups in the
360.
Yeah.
I
They're gonna come back here, I watch.
I'm not an expert. Off the top of my head, I can find out for you. Either I can try Google now.
Because I am Mark Cohen has written this book on this issue. The present, something the crescent and the cross. It's to do with Jews under the crescent and the cross. Jews under the crescent and the cross. And then Bernard Lewis has written
What's this
Jews
guy
and
called,
Islam.
man? Block him.
And there are other historians, such as Zion Zohar, people who have written, his book is called History of Safari and Sarahi Jiri. These people have argued
You said, who's this guy who's calling me, and then you just went quiet.
No. There's a guy, John West.
In fact, the Jews
I swear he eats shit packy.
more so
Look.
than the Muslims in some cases.
Just tell him you report his account.
And even Christians, it goes for the Christians as well.
And I will accept, you know, I am ashamed of how Christians are. I'm not saying always, I don't know, but there have been times
But do you think,
very badly, and that's something that's awful.
Yeah, I
do you
blocked
accept
him.
my claim that
I blocked him.
Islamic civilization, Muslim civilization, in comparison to other civilizations, treated the other with a lot more compassion and tolerance?
Maybe Wireless. Wireless.
The other, in terms of being Buddhist, mostly I don't know. I've heard that they don't know. I don't know.
Right, what's this one?
No, actually, 30 minutes limit.
You know, this is
So it turns off automatically.
heavily
Mine doesn't turn off, it just starts.
how is it disputed? Yeah, even on Hindus,
You wanna come under? Hop in what you can, man.
when people claim that Hindus were killed by Muslims,
Hop in what you
One
can.
pound a minute, though. 1 pound a minute.
thousands of liars. In fact, people like Richard Eaton, who is a specialist in India, and other academics,
Anyway, brothers, full talk will be on my channel soon, inshallah. Going offline now.
the most tarnished.
If the brother Yafdawa came back, let him know my name. No. The brother, Moroccan brother, says hello. His name is Ayub. Ayub. His YouTube name is Marshall Mathers. You know? So say hello to him.
Assalamu alaikum, Hafiz.
He said you know him.
O.S.C. Dawah. I know a lot of the brothers, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for subscribing and supporting.
Just like we have, big Islam haters in India and Britain first, people like that. We're not going to take your history from people like that. So as far as
No, Yafdawa's not here.
we are unanimous that the Muslims,
No, he knows who you are. He said Yafdawa come as well. Hashim's here.
Hindu kings did. So when they were temple desecrations, they were for political reasons. The temple was seen as symbols of power.
Actually,
The temples were not desecrated because of religious reasons. Rather, the kings were fighting Muslim kings were taking refuge in power. So they acted as one. And other Hindu kings were invading.
Sarah started a fight today.
Doing the same thing. So one Hindu king, for example, worshipped a particular deity, and he invades another territory, and that territory of the people there.
You know what the fight was about?
So he
Sarah
would
said
go to
he-
the temple and destroy the temple to basically subdue the masses.
it's your fault.
Your God is dead.
I told you I need an umbrella.
Your God couldn't protect you.
I told you to get it, didn't I? Yeah, but when you listen, you said
When it comes to, I mean, I invite
Say hello,
you to
brother.
this question.
All over the world, people are saying hello.
Muslim civilization,
Salam. Ramadan Mubarak.
comparison to other civilizations,
Eid Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak.
It's the rain, it's right, it's rain, it's right in my head.
the fasting and the rain. He says,
Exactly. Try and fast and make sense at the same time. I can't do it.
In the West,
What's happening?
Huh? It's
And to you too. It's the
I
same
don't
answer.
know. I normally go home and listen.
Bernard Lewis
Like
has a
I don't even half of the time listen.
online. Where he
and
talks
that's
about
why he doesn't learn that joke. I don't either.
No, you learn better.
It's difficult because of the distance.
Yeah.
and if they request cinematography,
Cool got him fasting.
should be granted.
Oh no.
So, looking at Islamic civilization, Muslim civilization in general, the behavior of Muslims towards the other has been very positive. I think
It's going, isn't it? Yeah, it's going, yeah.
It's actual rain.
Alhamdulillah, it's stopping.
I know that rain.
Yeah.
The rule has been that Muslims in
Little
general,
bit.
politicians,
On the trees it's falling
and
up.
Hindus.
On that side I can't
There are
see.
books written on this. Hindus flourished under the rule of Islam.
They said salam from Indonesia.
Salam,
In
Indonesia.
Sanskrit language.
Subscribe to Official Speakers Corner channel.
Advertising thing.
So if this is the case, then Muslims are the last people on the planet to be accused of instigating terror, instigating
Trouble, you know I'm
indiscriminate killing or mass murder or genocide. We, as far as
He's not even
our
listening.
track record is concerned,
Oh no, he listens to
we
me.
are
Blanks.
at the bottom of the list
Excuse me.
when it comes to crime.
Another one.
Crime. I think we are really I've lost my energy. Wow.
I think the stuff you're talking about now,
I want to discuss this
I was
question,
just going to say.
this very question in the future when we have time. The Muslim civilization, what we call the fruit of Islam. You know, it is said in the Bible that you should know that.
It's not right.
So,
I just
if
worked
we
him
do a
out.
comparison between Islam and
So
Christianity,
be so patient with this.
Christianity is trying to tell.
Yeah, be patient.
Historically,
He got, you know, he hit me with the ball. I said, right, we're doing that way. I'm playing football. You actually
no, I'm
hurt
not
me.
debating. I can have a
I
discussion.
said sorry. Then he comes up.
I can never have a
He's
debate. You're a gentleman.
like, good.
Oh, I know she is now. Yeah,
like
yeah.
general history.
And then I knew it, brother. No.
Yeah, but generally speaking, what I have learned so far from my little study, that in comparison to Christian civilization,
बोलना चाहिए.
Christendom,
नहीं नहीं
Muslim civilization, there is no comparison in when it comes to treatment of the other.
So I want to say that Christendom has treated each other very badly in many places in history. That's what I do know. Beyond that, I don't know.
No, my point is not that exceptions. This was an exception in Christian history. This was the norm.
Maybe.
This was the norm. Kings, or monarchs, or some or even dynasties throughout Christian history. In particular, Jews in particular.
What am I doing? What are you doing?
Very, very
Give me your
bad.
raincoat.
I'll have to do it.
What kind of man brings a raincoat for a camera, not for himself?
I was going to ask you to.
Right, let me go and
More of a
get
man than you. He doesn't need a raincoat.
Yeah, we can. I can.
slowly they're moving again. I'm coming back in 1 minute. Alhamdulillah.
But that's like one of the means. The other one, تفرد نسبي. You know, when تفرد أحد الرواة برواية حديث معين عن شيخ ولا يشاركه في الرواية عن شيخ به أحد. So he gets the hadith from his sheikh, but nobody else narrates on that sheikh about
We
him.
believe every prophet, every nation had a messenger telling them what is
No one, he just
every
you.
nation.
Like, you know,
God
all
is
these students,
just.
there's only one sheikh
He
that
does
says, like,
not
one guy,
leave a nation and punish them without telling them what is good and what is bad, what is required.
but that's the thing.
So what the scholar said? Did they say
God sent prophets
that
to throughout the nation.
That's depending on the hadith that is غريب.
okay? What is the tafsir?
Only few are mentioned. So, do you think there are prophets in India?
Well, they,
Is it possible?
all they do is they just give it the same.
So I'm saying,
Because there's no
even though
so they tell you, some people said it was this, some other people said
we're
this.
saying, as you said,
Some people said it was this. That's different.
So did they say some political agenda?
Going offline now.
I personally have no problem.